is Tuesday, May 5th in the United States and Canada. I only care about the Met Gala, and this is a show called What Chaos from the Sports Interaction Studio in Boston, Massachusetts. My name is David B, and I sit beside Pete Blackburn, and holding it down in that city of playing more games eventually is Sean DePaz. Sean, happy post-Met Gala day to you.
Thank you. I miss hockey. I don't know why I decided to stop. I didn't know that was back. Pete, how are you?
No, I was going to say wish a happy post-Met Gala to Pete.
Oh, happy post-Met Gala, Pete. I know Pete was like seconds before the show
talking
started.
about the Met Gala. Get off the Met Gala.
Are you not a Met Gala?
He was like, I don't see
No.
any Met Gala in the rundown. No, I fucking hate the Met Gala.
The Met
I
Gala
don't care about. I personally
trash.
don't care about the Met Gala. I don't know if it's trash, but it's not my event.
All I care is when Jason Derulo falls down the stairs. That's it.
Okay.
My only. Tell me when Jason Derulo falls down the stairs at the Met Gala, and that's all I care about.
I did see Connor Story's arms looking quite nice at the Met Gala.
That's nice. I'm glad for him. Some of us have nice arms.
I was gonna say, now I'm getting some arm jealousy off Pete. You miss hockey, Sean? You miss your team playing games?
I wish they would keep playing the sport. I don't understand why they decided to shut the whole thing down for like a week or half a week. But hockey's back tomorrow. Can't wait.
This guy talking about he misses hockey when his team gets to keep playing. Meanwhile, Pete's over here like,
Cause the drinks bring back all the memories.
I'm not drinking. Well,
Pete's
I am drinking. I'm
in
drinking
golf
some
mode,
ginger ale.
Oh yeah.
That was
Are you-
literally.
yep.
I was gonna unironically respond to that with like, "Oh yeah." When he said I was drinking ginger ale, I'm like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, I don't know if are you in misery or drinking, bringing back the memories?
I'm
Which
in
one's
less misery
closer to
than you are because I've got a potential windfall tonight. I
Yeah.
have
Night for
draft lotteried up. The Bruins could land something big tonight. You don't even have your fucking first round pick. Pathetic.
Believe you me, I finished.
Who has that now?
That would be the San Jose Sharks.
Is it?
I think.
Real? Are you sure?
The Blackhawks?
I think it's. I think it's
No,
I think
Blackhawks
it's
have
Winnipeg.
next year's famously.
Okay.
The Sabres had your first round pick, and then that got moved to somebody because of the rules on that trade, the conditions.
No. That was the Sharks. They were going to have a protected. I really promise you today we will not be doing Oilers draft pick talk, but I believe it was going to be
You are correct. It is in the hands of the San Jose Sharks in the Jake Wallman trade.
unprotected. It was if they had moved next year's first round pick, then this was going to become an unprotected first round pick that went to the Sharks. And they did move that pick, and then they started losing games, and it was like, they might miss the playoffs and give an unprotected pick. But no. We don't care about that. We care about the Leafs draft pick and a lot of things about the Leafs today. I did finish the work on fixing that roster. A video will come out this week. We're going to tape it after today's show. I've practiced explaining to people all the fixes I'll make. It's going to be a blast. Stay tuned for that. But I said to you before the show, today feels like a regular season show, endearing, in that it's going to be a lot of, check out this funny shit that happened last night.
Yeah.
You don't get that all the time in the playoffs.
No, the playoffs, like we unfortunately become a hockey show against our will. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this episode has a lot of like, what the fuck was going on yesterday?
We'll ask those
and
questions.
I'm very excited about that. We're also going to talk about a couple of the games last night because there was some weird shit that happened during the games last night.
Big time. In fact, why don't you do it? Spill the beans.
Today
Tell
on the
folks.
show. Today on the show. What do we got?
Sheng Peng will join to talk about the Oilers draft pick.
Today on the show, we're talking spank chat. That's right. Is spanking allowed in hockey? We're finally having the conversation, talking about the issues. La Vida LaCombe.
La Vida LaCombe. Like,
We got to start.
What is that?
We got to start. I mean, I like that one.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
What?
I mean, that isolated is horrific.
that's the
What is
end.
that?
That's the end of La Vida Loca. Gala vida loca, gala la vida.
Yeah, I
It was
need all
me.
that.
It was me. It was Austin? Question mark. And then finally, a draft lottery explainer. Tonight's a big night for those who are fans of teams that have been sucked off, and particularly were sucked off long ago.
Do you know? You didn't do?
Maybe
you didn't
not.
Explain, yeah.
Could be a big night for a team that was sucked off about 3 days ago.
Yes.
True. Yeah.
You didn't explain what it was me. There was more emphasis on was. Like, it was me. It was Auston.
Because
For
he
Maple
might
Leafs
be gone.
fans. Yeah, for Maple Leafs fans. Like, there's
Auston
no
Matthews
it's me.
might be past tense for the Maple Leafs.
Very interesting piece in The Athletic today from
Auston
Chris
Matthews
Johnson.
is going to die.
Well,
Auston
spoiler
Matthews is
alert,
going to be
yes.
past tense. Well, true. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, we're all going to die.
Want me to tell you about the birds and the bees as well, Sean? God. Last night, I was thinking...
See, you can tell how many new fans there are in the chat. Because when I said sucked off, everybody was like, excuse me? That's an early
No, there is- you
What
can't do-
Chaos
yeah.
reference. When your team is eliminated from playoff contention, we said that they were sucked off.
Yeah, we used to, here's what you don't understand. Before you folks started watching the show, we would just do bits that couldn't catch on because there weren't people for it to catch on with. So the three of us knew about it, and that's kind of what we're still used to doing. So it's surprising to us when we see like the 6-7 clip and everything. Like it's never been supposed to catch on.
Yes.
Just sometimes it does.
Quick explainer. If your team sucks and they suck so much that they are off of the show, they have been sucked off.
Cause the dreams bring back all the memories.
Relax. So, yes, that is the explanation for sucked off.
Yes. We may be not too far from the Philadelphia Flyers experiencing that very fate. They had a 2-0 lead in the first period last night, and in a series where there is the threat of the Carolina Hurricanes having 11 days off if they make quick work of the Flyers, and the Sabres and Canadiens take a while, you're thinking that's kind of plausible. And at 2-0 Flyers yesterday, I was so excited to have a series. 1-1, no matter what happens, it's a series if it's 1-1. Hurricanes win the next two, whatever. Flyers have shown me something. They've surprised me this offseason. They've always had their backs against the wall. They can always come back. They blew a 2-0 lead, and I'm so mad that it looks like they're probably going to be donezo and not have a long stay in this postseason. But we got enough fun shit in that game that I can't be too mad. How do you feel about your Philadelphia Flyers?
I'm disappointed. Yeah, I'm disappointed. I thought they were going to take care of business yesterday, and there are plenty of signs to point to this team really ain't ready for this. And particularly, I mean, we mentioned the Sabres power play and them stinking and how that could be a problem, or wow, that might not be a problem, because famously, like the Boston Bruins, when they won the Stanley Cup, their power play sucked. The Flyers, how many power plays they have last night? 7? They have
Believe
7
so.
power plays?
At least.
And they were outshot on the power play 5-3.
You know who else pretty terrible on the power play last night? Anaheim Ducks.
Yeah, we'll talk
What the
about
fuck?
that.
Where was that?
Yeah, but I just, the Flyers, you can't mess around against the Carolina Hurricanes. The Carolina Hurricanes are there to take care of business, specifically in the first 2 rounds. If you get them in the Eastern Conference Final, all bets are off. But you can't mess around against the Hurricanes in the first 2 rounds. And I feel like the Flyers are missing Owen Tippett. They're messing around too much and not taking care of business. They had that game in the bag yesterday.
Yeah, that was one that they squandered big time. That to me is like Minnesota the other night, where like kind of a weird one, had to win that weird one.
Skill gap between Minnesota and Colorado is much smaller than it is in Philly and Carolina.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, Minnesota, I still think at down 1-0 can come back and win this series. Losing that game too, where you could have had a split going home, but who knows? I mean, Flyers can win 2 at home. It would be very difficult because the Hurricanes are a lot more grown than they are, but we shall see. Now, funny events in this game. This was the good shit. The highlight, Logan Stankoven crashes into Daniel Vladar, and Vladar reacts by spanking his bare butt balls and back. Sean?
Jesus Christ.
Stopped. Stankoven's going to give Carolina a 3-2 lead. It's the pad stack save, left pad save. Here's the collision. Stankoven and Vladar. There's one penalty. Here's the next. It's 4-on-4.
All right, give it to me again. Give me the zoomed one, Sean.
Stankoven and Vladar.
Oh, yeah. Now
There's
we're
one
talking.
penalty. Here's the next. It's 4-on-4.
And we have an Imagine/USA Today photo subscription, so we can only use their images. Getty has a photo of Logan Stankoven on his fucking hands and knees going like, I'm sorry, as Daniel Vladar is spanking his bear BBB&B.
God, I wish we could show that photo. It is incredible. It is the most guilty a man has ever looked while on all fours, being like, ooh, did I get spanked?
He was a bad boy. That was a great moment. Another great moment in this game is
Chat's asking though, was that a penalty?
Was that a penalty? It was
Famously
a penalty.
asked but yeah, there you go, Sean. Nice. It was a penalty.
Mm-hmm.
Should it have been a penalty?
I mean,
You land on my leg like that, and I'm trying to get up. I feel like that's the only. That's like the most appropriate way of telling somebody to get off.
if you do what, well, spanking and getting off can go hand in hand. One spank, if there's a get out of here, if you want to fly swat Logan Stankoven, I think that's a little disrespectful because he's a smaller guy. You don't actually treat the man like a fly. If you go like that, like, hey, get out of here, give him a little Tim Thomas, no problem. Sean, play the clip again. He was giving him...
Stopped. Stankoven
other
and
one.
Vladar.
Yep.
There's one penalty.
One,
Hey,
Here's
two.
the next. It's 4-on-4.
You know what? And
You know what?
And a little push as well.
Only
Yeah, but
one.
You know
spank,
what?
though.
Those cheeks are in the blue paint. That's his area.
Yeah.
You come into his house and you present your cheeks, you get spanked.
I think you can do one spank because remember, we're talking about Charlie McAvoy swinging his stick at somebody and getting 300 games.
He only did one spank.
He did, I think, like 1.5.
He did a push, he did a spank, and then he did another little push. There was only
give it to me
one
again?
instance of the broad side of the stick to the rear end.
one clean spank.
Stankoven and Vladar.
That's
No,
not
that
spank.
was-
That's a spank.
Here's
Yeah.
the
That's
next.
one spank.
It's
That's 1.5.
4-on-4.
That's one
It's,
spank.
okay, because he does one where
He
he's
kind of like
holding the stick.
grazes on this
Yeah.
on the slap at first,
Stankoven
and then he's
and
got like
Vladar.
one clear.
No,
There's one
Kind
penalty.
of.
That's a push.
Here's
Yeah,
the
that's a
next.
spank.
It's 4-on-4.
That's a
so there's
paddle.
a kind of and a. I'm with you guys.
You come into my house and you present those cheeks, one spank is allowed.
What do you think Logan Stankoven was saying?
Spank
Again.
me?
You think he's like, that's all you got?
Maybe.
A little Mike Ehrmantraut with Tuco, where he's like, everyone's watching. That's all you got. Tries to get one more. Get in the box. Dan Vladar had to sit in the box.
I think that's
No goalie for
that's crazy.
how they do it.
That's crazy. I feel bad. Dan Vladar, justice for Dan Vladar, especially on May the 4th. May the 4th is Dan Vladar's day. He got plenty of Darth Vladar memes and all that. Let him spank.
No,
it jiggled
Jesus
too.
Christ.
Kills
It
me.
did. It did. There was a little wobbly. Okay, there's a little bit of that. Speaking of penalties, Denver Barkey took one, and Sportsnet said, "Remember when he took a penalty and did this?"
Penalty box, and he's not happy with it. A head shake. He's stating his case, arguing with the referee, saying he lifted my stick. This is not quite as animated of a reaction as the time he was in the box
that's
with
crazy.
the London Knights. And I don't know how to exactly describe what he's doing other than going a little bit wild and entertaining.
Big Kayshawn Aitchison show.
I was
today.
going to say that, yes.
A lot
Yeah.
of
Big day for the
Kayshawn
boy.
Aitchison content coming your way. Great move from. So Sportsnet just had that ready. They were like,
That's-
if Denver Barkey, he didn't even look that mad where he took that penalty.
just-
where they're
if he
like,
does
and
anything
as you
in the
can
box.
recall, he's always mad when he takes penalties like this.
That was big time. People don't forget. Yeah, they had that ready to go in the holster.
Yeah, my favorite moment of last night, other than the spanking and that one, was after Taylor Hall scored the game winner. Taylor Hall sat down with Emily Kaplan in a conversation of people who can and can't be on our show, but 2 people who have been on our show before. And it was great. Emily, I think probably has to know Taylor Hall quite a bit. She's based in Chicago. He was there. So,
I can't believe she said, Taylor Hall, you've only played for one team your whole life. Sorry.
You've only known one team.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh, you should have done I'm joking.
Oh, yeah.
I'm joking.
There you go.
And Taylor Hall, did you guys watch this?
Yes.
He said, hopefully we don't see you guys again the rest of the series. Ballsy shit, and I love it.
What's that in reference to?
It was game 2 at home, and he said to the audience, the crowd, like, see you guys next round.
I think that's good behavior.
Baller shit after scoring the game-winning goal.
Yeah.
And
I love
he
Taylor
didn't say we're not going to see you again. He said, I hope we don't.
He
so
should
it's
be
not like he
hoping
was
that.
he wasn't planting his flag necessarily. He was just manifesting.
Chad points out that today is Cinco de Mayo. Hand up. We could have done a lot more cucaracha-wise. That's on us.
Stay tuned.
So Hurricanes up 2-0 in their series. Meanwhile, Golden Knights up 1-0 in their Pacific Division series with the Ducks. The Knights take game 1 of their second round series. Vegas led throughout most of the second and third. Ducks tied it with 6 minutes left, and the Golden Knights scored a minute later. This was one that I think was heavily aided by one player. We will talk about him in just a minute. Maybe a player who was heavily celebrated in the first round while playing against someone whose body was broken. And now you could ask, are they actually bad? And don't try. 2 players I want to talk about first. This was a pitcher's duel. Carter Hart, Lukáš Dostal, both throwing good ones. 0-0 through the first period. Knights score early in the second. The Hart dam doesn't break until late in the third period. And then, as I said, one more to seal it for the Golden Knights. But this was a very high event night for one Jackson LaCombe, an amazing player who every year in the playoffs, I don't want to say breakout player, like someone that we all know, that puck watchers know is awesome, but gets their shine because they're being seen in the playoffs. And I think that so far in the playoffs, maybe the biggest one, maybe the one who's gotten the most love is Jackson LaCombe, because he's fantastic player. All the Team USA guys rave about him. When he got his big deal in Anaheim, some people were given a little like, what, Thomas Harley treatment? And it's like, no. Like, this guy rocks. He had a really good first round. Last night, I texted Event LaCombe.
And I almost texted before that. It was late, and I was like, I don't need to open up an Evan Bouchard discussion. But I was like, that was an Evan Bouchard type game from Jackson LaCombe.
An old school one
where he was doing a lot of good, but also had a lot of like, what the hell's going on here?
I don't know how. I will say lovingly of Jackson LaCombe, he had a bad night.
I mean, he also like was directly responsible for the game tying
for
goal.
the only goal. Yes.
Yeah.
So like, I'll give a little rundown. So he passes up an open net, and this isn't to. We're not like shitting on Jackson LaCombe because he's a great player, but show this play from Leo Carlsson, Sean, followed by a very ill-advised pass.
Going off the skates of Troy Terry, but watch the brilliance of Carlson.
Sick.
He's in the ballroom dancing.
And then,
Unbelievable.
what are you doing? What are we doing?
He knew it. He knew it, of course. But I got to tell you, look at this on the bench.
I hated the shot of the bench after where I was like, I know he's fucking sad. I know he's sad and he's bummed about it. Not the last of the Ducks bench. We will see. He did set up the Ducks' only goal. Goes like right to the net, basically crashes into Carter Hart, and the puck bounces off the stick and to, Mikhail Granlund.
Yes.
Yeah. Loved that. But then he also, and we're not even getting to the biggest play yet, but he sealed the loss for the Ducks, and this is where he was not having an Evan Bouchard night, because at the blue line, he's probably got 3 feet of space, no pressure at all.
And they were pressuring at that moment. Like they were moving the puck around. They were threatening. It goes back to Jackson LaCombe at the point, and just I don't know what happened. I don't know if it jumped his stick or something, but he completely flubbed it.
I think he had the puck by then. No, I think he was like stick handling and just like back and just like threw it out of the zone, which was like a big bummer. And you're never getting like that was the most non-Jackson LaCombe game I've ever seen. And I do watch quite a bit of Ducks. Like he is not that high event a player, derogatory. So he had a bad night. The worst of it though, and the most consequential of it, I mean, I guess you could say all these things were consequential because one was a goal, a surefire goal that wouldn't be scored. One positively was a goal that was scored. One was saying, okay, the game's over now. But the play of the evening, the one that everyone was discussing, was this game-winning goal from the Golden Knights in which an icing call was missed. But watch Jackson LaCombe as he's in the race with Jack Eichel and what he does afterwards.
Eichel to Barbashev, and now the cross corner toss.
LaCombe on the right,
hoping for the return. Eichel can't work his way past LaCombe.
That could have been icing there.
Dorofeyev springs free in front. Dorofeyev sets up Barbashev. The answer by the Golden Knights.
All right, come back, Sean. Now, the reaction, my reaction watching that live was that wasn't no icing. And everyone's reaction was like, no icing. The Ducks freaked out about it. We will show that. But I'm also, when there's a missed call and the team stops playing, that's what makes me the angriest. And Jackson LaCombe is amazing. But if you watch him the rest of that play, he is just kind of like twirling around. He gives Dorofeyev like a maybe, like, hey, I'll try to give you like a light swipe. And in 2019, Sean, keep showing it. In 2019, this happened with the Boston Bruins in the Cup final where there was a missed tripping call. Noel Acciari was tripped. They didn't call it. Bruins stopped playing. Blues kept playing, scored, and everyone lost their minds. I was angrier at the Bruins. And this, like, yes, the Ducks got absolutely fucked here, but you have to keep playing, especially if you're one of the best defensemen in the world.
I think there's some gray area on the icing, which is why I take away, like, there's no excuse from Jackson LaCombe, especially because there was like a second or two to sort of process it and realize that the play is continuing and play. And he just did not have any effort after the quote unquote missed call. I don't know for sure that it was missed based off of where the two players were at the dot. I think usually that's being called. I would be surprised. There's been some discussion back and forth as to like, well, he had inside position, blah, blah, blah. There was kind of, LaCombe beat him, Jack Eichel beat him, blah. I don't know. I don't really care about the gray area of the icing. I care about the player who stops playing when you just tied the game. It's in the final minutes of a series opener of a playoff game. That can't happen. Yeah, it really can't.
And that was the other, that was my other reaction, which was like, you can't fucking get scored on 1 minute later. And that's such a stupid zoomed out hockey fan thing. And I'm like, who am I mad at? Like refs, Dostal. And I didn't see in real time, like how passive LaCombe was there. I don't want to overanalyze though, like the play of him and everything, because he's a great player, but he had a tough night. Fucking tough night. And I'll say this, I don't look at this and say, well, you pissed that one away. You guys are in trouble now. Like, Ducks can win this series. Absolutely, Ducks can win this series. Like, they're faster than Vegas. I think they can give them a lot of trouble.
And Carter Hart's probably not going to look like that for the rest of the series.
Hart's not going to be that good. And I'm just, I'm a Dostal guy. Yeah. I think the first round from Dostal,
I was going to say, he wasn't very good,
was the outlier against a team with a lot of really good offensive players. Like, he's going to have an easier time this round. And let him get into his groove. I'm a Ducks believer. I'm a Dostal believer. I'm definitely a Jackson LaCombe believer. But he was living La Vida Loca.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the takeaway last night, if you're a Ducks fan, that makes you feel good is like, had a chance to win that game. And it wasn't your best game, but you were still in it. And I certainly, like, I'm not counting out the Ducks. Just a tough way to lose. Whether you want to say it's because of the icing that should have been called, or whether it's because you want to blame one of your best players. for sort of checking out as a result of that, it's a tough pill to swallow.
Now, the other high event situation I would say would be the bench's reaction to the goal, the game-winning goal by was it Dorofeev? Yeah, by Dorofeev. Because as you said, you're watching that live, and I agree with you, by the way, that like watching that live, I was like, no icing. And if someone said to me no, I'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't so blatant and horrible. And again, you got to keep playing. But the Ducks bench reaction, I've got Joel Quenneville freaking out, and then there's some direction on who to watch in the replay here. Sean, hit me.
Is converging to that. Watch the bench. Watch
Quenneville freaking.
Head coach Quenneville
Now,
and assistant coach Jay Woodcroft on the right of your screen.
As we replay it,
They're
keep an
absolutely
eye on Beckett
incensed.
Seneca.
They're absolutely
We got one player being bent over, another being spanked.
It's just
This
like
is a weird episode.
holding him down.
Yeah.
Very, I mean, I hate to say that someone's look doesn't help them. And like, I would say this about Jay Woodcroft back in the day, where I'd be like, sorry, when you're in certain situations, you just can't look like that. When Joel Quenneville is mad, he looks like a bad guy in Beauty and the Beast or something, with like that big bushy mustache. And
Do you remember his famous one on the bench where he freaked out and he gave his nuts a tug?
Oh, yeah.
That was fucking crazy. But yeah, I mean, that's a tough one. It's a tough look for Beckett Seneca too, because that just proves he can't put the team on his back. He can't even put one guy on his back.
This Ducks are in trouble. All right. Jackson LaCombe, Baden doesn't try. Beckett Seneca, not ready for the big moment. And there was also some, if you replay it, if you watch Jay Woodcroft, Bill Burr has a bit about like when an owner is mad, the dog is confused and is like, yeah, I'm mad too. I love that guy and he's mad, so I'm mad. Like, watch, it's like, yeah, what the fuck is this?
It was funny. Before the show, we were playing this video. We were looking at it, and you called it the Jay Woodcroft freakout video.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if that was a bit or not.
No, big time misspeaking. Woodcroft on the brain.
I'm watching that video and being like, get a load of Jay Woodcroft. Rein it in, brother.
Yeah, that guy was freaking out. Someone's got to be holding it together.
Yeah.
Good cop, bad cop. Mm-hmm. Internet would argue Joel Quenneville, maybe already bad cop there. But Ducks not done. Not done. Weird one, for sure. But we like weird ones. That's why we watch our hockey.
I do have to mention, we are going to do quite a bit on the Toronto Maple Leafs and how sad and despondent things are over there right now. Mitch Marner is having quite a string of games for the Vegas Golden Knights. Unbelievable assist last night. He's been really good over the past 3-4 games. So I don't know if it's just getting out of that sweater, but the man's showing up in the playoffs, and give him his flowers. Mitch Marner looks really good. John?
Breaking news per Jesse Montano of Guerrilla Sports. Minnesota making a change in net. Gustafsson will start.
Wow.
We wondered about it. Interesting.
Volstead is so good, man.
Yeah, but do you remember what we said about when they went to him to start the playoffs? If he's playing well, he is the most give-a-night-offable goalie in the world. If he is that is the goalie you ride. You cannot sit him until he has had a bad game. Quite frankly, I don't even know if I'm calling that game in which he allowed 8 goals a bad game. It was just a mess of shit across the board.
9 goals.
Did he give up the 9th one as well?
I think so.
Oh, it was an empty netter.
It was an
Was
empty
it
netter.
empty netter?
Yeah, it was like a Nathan McKinnon
bullseye.
bullseye.
180 feet.
Yeah. I don't bench that guy until he has a bad game. I think you can call that one a bad game. That's when you bench him. But that group is deserving otherwise of a rotation. It's just that when he is hot, he is unsittable. Because he stays insanely good.
Yeah. My only thing would be is that that game was such an outlier and an aberration of what those two teams are that it's almost like a burn the tape, pretend it doesn't exist, let's move on, proceed business as usual. That's the only reason why I'm like, what if Gus Bus doesn't exactly have a great night in game 2? Then you're maybe down 2-0 to the Colorado Avalanche while you benched what was your biggest strength, arguably, in round 1.
Yeah.
I might wait one more game before pushing that button. That's a bit surprising to me.
I'm interested about this tandem going forward, too, because Gus Bus begins a new contract next season, like a long-term, you are the guy contract. And as long as Wallstead is, I don't know Wallstead's contract situation, but you probably wait a year or two before you start to press the Bruins, Swayman, Ullmark button where you get rid of one of those guys and just commit to one. But I don't know. While you got this guy, what's that?
Wallstead has 1 year left at 2.2.
Okay, so then you keep Gustafsson for the first year next year, and
there's some Wild fans in the chat, and they are pretty terrified by this decision. It seems.
Look, friends.
I mean, he was really bad at the end of the regular season, was he not?
Who? Gustafsson.
Gustafsson.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really been a huge Gustafsson guy.
I like him. Good goalie in his prime. Or
he's fine.
He's a goalie, as they say.
As Jay Fresh says.
Yes.
He is a goalie.
He is indeed a goalie. Now, you mentioned Mitch Marner and the future of the Toronto Maple Leafs, which does not include Mitch Marner because they got rid of the bad guy. They solved the problem. They did not bring back Mitch Marner. The Toronto Maple Leafs are in a real mess of shit right now. We will get to yesterday's press conference, but I want to start with the newer information, which is that Chris Johnson has a piece in The Athletic today in which he writes that, quote, the future of franchise player Auston Matthews remains very much in question. Writes Johnston, Matthews has 2 years remaining on his contract, but still isn't sure if he'll be back in Toronto in the fall, according to league sources. The phrasing in this piece, and I'm going to read some more excerpts of it.
There's some plausible deniability.
It's very interesting here because it makes it sound like it doesn't say explicitly that Matthews hasn't decided whether he just isn't. He doesn't know if he'll be back, which is to say, hey, maybe the team's going to want to trade him or something like that.
At the end of the day, he has a no movement clause.
He has a no movement clause.
So if he doesn't know that he'll be back, he has to sign off on that.
It's definitely Auston Matthews has not decided whether to request a trade. And that's interesting to us because it's the Toronto Maple Leafs, and there are some teams that just always are interesting, endearing, or derogatory.
That's a real fine choice of word.
I don't know that the Leafs
always interesting.
I don't know that the Leafs have ever been more interesting or more endearing, interesting than derogatory. There's been times where I believed in them a couple of years ago for funsies, and I've been wrong. But they are is it Charlie Brown or who is it who always tries to kick the field goal and they pull the
Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown.
They're Chucky B, okay? Not to be confused with Chuck Berry.
Or Chucky.
Oh, yeah.
Chucky? Like the
doll?
Chester Entertainment Cheese.
Oh.
or
Chuck
Pasquale. Or any of those.
It's just Pasquale, yes.
So 2 years left for Auston Matthews, and this is also in this piece from CJ. The only sales pitch Matthews needs at this stage is real action, according to league sources. Before committing to another season in Toronto, he wants to see a roster that has been meaningfully upgraded through trades and free agency. This isn't about selling him on a fancy 12-point plan or a bunch of vague promises. Seeing is believing. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
Effectively, the Chayka front office will be auditioning for the team's most impactful player with their work around draft week in late June and the opening of free agency on July 1. As such, they shouldn't expect any commitments from Matthews about his future until some point after that happens and he can evaluate where the team stands heading into 2026-27.
Damn.
Oh man, what a mess, but also, do you think the Leafs turn it around to the point of it's not exactly the the McDavid win me a cup or I'm gone kind of thing. This sounds more like have a good team or I'm gone. And I don't know if this can be a good team. That's more what it sounds like.
Yeah. And like, how much work can you get done over the course of one summer to make you feel so much better about where this team is heading into the season? That's my big question. Like, where does this team need to be optically for him? Because like all the language there says he wants to see what they look like heading into the season.
Yep. The Leafs have $22 million in cap space. We will find out this evening whether they have a first-round pick. They have the Avalanche's top 10 protected first-round pick in 2027. Goalie. They've got the Sabres second-round pick. They've got some assets, but we don't know if they're going to have their first-round pick this year. The draft lottery is tonight. If it's top 5, they keep it. If it's not, they won't. They're right on the edge, odds-wise. But they have $22 million in cap space in probably the worst off-season that's ever existed.
Does this kind of tell you that even if they get that pick, are they trading it? Because that is their biggest piece to making a big deal this summer.
If they're trying to keep Auston Matthews, and that's the discussion now, like how much do you care if you're the Maple Leafs about keeping Auston Matthews? Because from where I'm sitting, you seem closer to a rebuild than you seem to going for it with Auston Matthews.
I would agree with that.
So,
But you don't think like Keaton Verhoff gets him to stay if they get real lucky?
I think if you get a
Schaefer.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you get the first or second overall, this second overall pick, I think you keep it and
That's
you say,
fair,
Austin, if you're leaving, like then fine, bye.
Then you're leaving.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you were leaving, then it sounds like you were always leaving because we have a new star coming in here. We've got a ton of cap space. We can't like the free agency is horrible, like really horrible. But you could pick up some guy. Like I've been really combing through the people that are available. If there are certain types of players, you can get them, but you're not getting star players,
right?
Which, like Matthews and Nylander can be your star players, and you build a good rest of the roster. Hard to do this offseason, but you can get better. Add in a Gavin McKenna or a Keaton Verhoff. You've gotten better. I don't think that you are knocking on the door of a Stanley Cup, but you've gotten better. You also have to factor in that Sabres are here and are staying. Panthers missed the playoffs last year and absolutely will be back. Maybe you can grab the Bruins or the Senators playoff spot, but it's going to be hard to make the playoffs next year. So,
but even if you get like a player like Verhoff, say, or McKenna, and then you have the opportunity to like, it's on the table with this like kind of readjusted window to like, what does it look like to send Auston Matthews to LA for Quentin Byfield and plus?
Yes.
Like that's what I'm thinking about. Like, does that not fit their timeline a little bit more? Is that not like a hard reset button that could be very exciting for that team? I'm thinking about it.
I'm thinking about it too. I think that if you have Gavin McKenna, but McKenna and Matthews is all right. Like you're fast tracking this thing. You got a guy who's still in his prime, and
but then, like you're adding an offensively skilled winger. Yeah. Like they've been here before.
Yeah, so like McKenna is your Marner replacement.
Yes, yeah, I know it's like a different kind of player, but like they don't have a number one defenseman. Like we're just going round and 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 round we go with the way that this team is built. That's just kind of the way that I'm looking at it, and I'm just wondering what it looks like to maybe push that button, get a guy like Byfield who's like a lottery ticket and is a really young player where we don't really know what his ceiling is, and get him out of that system where he can flourish offensively somewhere else. I don't know. That's all I'm thinking about, and I'm not committed to saying that Matthews should still be there even if they get to keep that pick.
Kings fans, don't kick my ass, but if you're Toronto and you win the lottery, call up the Kings, say, hey, Ken, you big galoot. It's going to be Byfield, and it's going to be Brandt Clark. Do you think the Kings say that's too much? Because that is a clean and easy trade for me if I'm the Maple Leafs.
I am not going to pretend that I can predict what Ken Holland will be thinking at any point in time.
I think he's thinking about golfing.
I think Ken Holland might be the more predictable party in this. Like,
Fair.
You got to remember, John Chayka is the one trying to make these trades, and we have no idea what that's going to look like.
This is the bigger part of the conversation, I think, with regards to this whole thing, is that if the Maple Leafs need to do so much work to convince Auston Matthews that this roster, as it's turned over, is worth committing to, we're talking about a general manager here who is allegedly despised by a good portion of the league and its executives.
Of humanity.
Who probably aren't going to want to work with this guy and aren't going to want to swing deals and do him a favor. How difficult is his job going to be on top of what it already looks like as a difficult job?
Yes.
Especially if Austin stops being diplomatic and it becomes more like if it becomes where Austin is actively trying to get out of Toronto and now Chayka is losing even more leverage. Like I don't know. I just feel like that could go very poorly for the Toronto Maple Leafs and their fans, more specifically.
I'm telling you, folks, I like this Byfield and Brandt Clark deal for Toronto.
I don't.
But
I would be
Brandt Clark
so
is
sick.
not a number one defenseman.
No, he's not. But
I would be so sick if I'm Toronto and I'm getting anything. Like, if I'm a Toronto fan and they're trading Auston Matthews for Quentin Byfield, I'm not happy about it.
yeah, I was going to say you're automatically losing that trade, but I've always had like a fear about Matthews being washed on the earlier side. And I don't think that he's close to being washed, but just with some of the injuries he's had, I've maybe been 1% scared of Matthews's long-term future.
Unfortunately, when he gets hurt, it seems like he always gets hurt, like his wrist and something that severely affects his ability to tap into his greatest strength, which is his shot.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the concern. Obviously, it's difficult to predict luck. I don't know what his physical looks like behind the scenes, but if he's 100% and he's near what he's supposed to be, he's like unbelievable. So good. But also there's a layer of like, do you trust him to be your leader, your captain, the guy who is leading the charge in that fight when it comes to playoffs and big games? I don't have the answer to that.
And I love Quentin Byfield. He might not be a very good NHL player. You're worried about, which I think is fair. Like being worried about when the Auston Matthews thing, like the potential of that coming crashing down at some point. But the development that is Quentin Byfield might never get finished. So I don't know. Like that just seems like way too big of a risk, I guess.
My counter to
and
that
also,
would
are you
be,
trying to
my
make
counter to
Quentin
that
Byfield
would be if you release Quentin Byfield from the LA Kings system, what is the ceiling on his offensive ability? Like, I think there's a very good chance that if he goes somewhere else and there's talent around him, like if he's playing with Willie Nylander and like other really, really good offensively talented players in a system that benefits those players, he could put up fucking numbers.
He could, but are you trading who might be the best player in your franchise's history for? Hopefully, this looks different when he's off this team. And I get that the Kings are a very specific circumstance where it's like obviously that system dictates a lot of how those players look. But I don't know. I just the stocks on Quentin Byfield are probably the lowest they've ever been right now, and I'm not sure that you're trading again the guy who might be the greatest player in your franchise's history for that. And a D-man.
But how high are the stocks on Matthews? I mean, like they should be very high because he is. It's like a it's like a hockey version of like a Messi or something becoming available, where it's just like, get that guy, you'll sell jerseys. But
here's what I'll say about Matthews stocks is that while his goal scoring and his offense ability has dipped in relation to what we expect from him, he has become an awesome 200-foot player and has found a way to be extremely useful, even in really tough environments like the Olympics and like Four Nations. Like, he's proven that he can be a well-rounded player. And if the offense comes back and his wrist is healed up, like, he's going to be one of the best players in the entire league.
Do we have any other? Go ahead. Sorry, Sean.
No, I was just going to also say, like, do you want to put Quinton Byfield, if, like, you're the Toronto Maple Leafs, do you want to put Quinton Byfield in that, like, even if you love that player, put him in that position where it's like now he is the Auston Matthews replacement, and you're hoping that he takes a massive step forward at some point.
Yeah.
Like, it just seems like you're putting a lot of chips on you're putting it on green. Like, you're trying to get very lucky.
Orange Joe also makes a good point that, like, under Berube, the Leafs haven't exactly lent themselves to high-flying offensive skill either. Like, they're asking a lot of those guys to eat shots and, like, play structured defensively, which, like, that's what Leafs fans have been asking for a long time, and that's kind of, like, what the Leafs have kind of needed to do, but you still want your Matthews and Nylanders to be prioritizing offense because that's where they provide the most value.
Can I give you a crazy one? Can I give you a crazy team for Auston Matthews? Nashville Predators. New GM. I feel like they just fucking refuse to die. Like, the world is telling them, you're going this way. Go here. Go here to the standings. Go here to the bottom. Draft high. And they did last year against their will. But
like,
why is Austin doing that?
Yeah.
Oh, fair.
They're closer to blowing it up than, like, going for it.
And if he needs assurances that the team's going to be really good, Predators with Auston Matthews wouldn't be bad. And I'm assuming that this would be like a Brady Martin plus a bunch of stuff.
If I'm Nashville, I'm not trading my young players.
If I'm Nashville, I'm definitely not doing that.
Yeah.
But I think if Nashville is Nashville, and again, new management, maybe they think differently. But, like, how many times have they kicked that can that has been kicked a bajillion times where they're like, no, this is the year. We're going to be able to do it. There are some fun landing spots for him. Detroit?
Hey, I'll say this too. Looks like Shane Doan's on his way out in Toronto, and that motherfucker really wants a team back in Arizona. And I think if you have even a shred of any evidence that that is happening, and Austin does actually want out of Toronto, he will try to put himself in a position to play professional hockey in Phoenix, Arizona.
I wonder about
Arizona more specifically.
I wonder about the Doan Matthews relationship and how much that is going to kind of rub him the wrong way, perhaps.
Like if Doan's getting screwed over.
I mean, we can almost guarantee that Shane Doan is going to get screwed over and will not be a part of the Maple Leafs front office moving forward because of the Chayka
it might
of it
be
all.
Neutral, but yeah.
So, like, if anybody doesn't know, John Chayka was general manager of the Arizona Coyotes, and for a while, the Arizona Coyotes, like, biggest icon was Shane Doan, and there was a massive falling out between those two where Shane Doan wanted to come back. He wanted to be he wanted to have, like, one more season, and then I think that he wanted to join the front office, and Chayka was like, nah, kick rocks, buddy, get out of here. And Shane Doan ended up taking a job with the Maple Leafs front office, and now John Chayka is running the Maple Leafs front office with Matt Sundin.
Yeah, I mean, in Chayka's defense, I guess, like, it seemed pretty obvious that, like, whoever was in charge of the Arizona Coyotes, basically from the moment Shane Doan stopped playing hockey, was very threatened by Shane Doan's presence because he is Arizona's hockey. So even after Chayka, like, the reason he's in Toronto is because the fucking Morellos refused to give him a job, from my understanding. So, like, maybe it's not all Chayka specifically, but I don't imagine he's going to want that around.
David Pagnotta reported yesterday, by the way, that Shane Doan will be done with the Maple Leafs, which
Shocking.
not surprising. Man, I'm getting a lot of Auston Matthews ideas. Someone said, I mean, Panthers, obviously, that could be what they do with that pick. Blackhawks are interesting because, I mean, if you're running Bedard, Matthews as your top two centers, and there's a million trade packages the Blackhawks could do for Auston Matthews.
Yeah, with all their young talent. Yeah.
But what I mean, the ultimate biggest question for me is like, what does Auston Matthews want? Because
I don't know. Like, do you want to be in a similar situation just somewhere else? Like, if he wants to be out of Toronto and that's his want, then that stinks for the Leafs and their fans, but that could be a possibility. Is it just that he wants to be on a better team? A lot of teams better than the Maple Leafs last year. I don't know.
It's
Maybe
wide
he
open.
wants to get closer to home.
Utah? What's the closest to
LA.
Oh,
LA or Vegas.
what
I
of
think
Vegas?
It's about equidistant. Yeah.
Reuniting with Marner in Vegas.
Oh, amazing. This all, by the way, this piece comes out today. It's one day after John Chayka's introductory press conference yesterday, which featured this exchange between Leafs president Keith Pelley and Toronto Sun columnist Steve Simmons.
Steve Simmons, Toronto Sun, for Keith. You talk about the due diligence that you did on John prior to hiring him and now hiring him. In the past, say, 3 to 4 days, I have been in contact with about 20 people who work in the National Hockey League, many of whom are prominent names that we would all know. And of the 20 people I spoke to, one was supportive of John's hiring, and the other 19 thought it was a sham, to be perfectly honest. Words were used like con artist, liar, salesman. How did you come to a different conclusion that I was able to come to in a very short time?
I must have talked to different people.
That's it? Because I'm telling you, the hockey world today is astounded by this announcement.
Okay.
And your response to that?
Is we've conducted due diligence, and it was deep due diligence. It was a thorough process, and I'm quite happy with where we've landed.
Ooh, all right. That was, I've had a few different, my reaction has changed to that over time. Sean, what was your reaction?
I mean, I was just shocked by John Chayka's composure, because if somebody said that to me, I would have started laughing
in front of your kids.
Yeah,
his kids were sitting there.
I mean, like, if you don't want people to call you a sham and a con artist, don't be a sham and a con artist. I'll start there. But I mean, that's exactly what like PD was saying, is that Toronto is not going to let that motherfucker sleep until he proves, and even maybe far past if and when he proves that he's a good GM. Like, they're not going to let this shit rest easy. So I'm not shocked by it. I appreciate a journalist that's willing to do something like that, because I think it's fair. Like, I haven't seen a single person in hockey media be like, "Good job, MLSE. Good job, Keith Pelley." Like, it doesn't seem like a single person supports that hiring. So I think it's fair to ask how you got there when that seems to be the public opinion.
I definitely think it's fair to ask how he got there. I definitely think it's fair to be like, I've talked to a bunch of people. They think that this is a sham. They don't really understand why this hiring is happening. And like, obviously, as a podcaster who loves chaos and has a podcast named after chaos, love it. Unbelievable stuff from Steve Simmons. The problem, though, for me is the emotion with which he asked the question, because that's where it's very clear he's coming from an emotionally biased point of view, and it's a loaded question that he's asking, and he's just like, it sounds like he's like on the verge of tears. It's such a weird, uncomfortable, passionate thing that if you're trying to be a professional, quote unquote professional, even as a columnist, I think you got to have more objectivity to it.
Exactly. He did it the wrong way. Fair. And like, that's fun and that's funny to watch and everything. Part of me does feel for Chayka's family, who's sitting there and is like, what? 19? Jesus.
I mean, I will.
Dad
there's
sucks,
no
apparently.
way.
Like, I don't.
If if that's the first time they're hearing someone say that their dad sucks and is bad at their job, I would be fucking floored. So
yeah, it's true. It's a real trial by fire for the Toronto Maple Leafs job. I'll tell you that.
But Pete is correct. Pete is correct in that, like, there are hard things to bring up and there are hard questions to ask, and he did it in a very sensationalized and. He was spitting facts. Everything that he said was right, assuming that the 19 of the 20 people he spoke to said these sorts of things. But there is a way that you can do it that leaves people unable to say, well, you were just being an asshole. And there is plenty of ammunition there for someone to watch that and say, well, Simmons was being an asshole.
Yeah, for sure. And like somebody said, he's a columnist. He can be emotionally biased. Yes. I mean, I just said that. Even as a columnist, there is more of a regulated way to ask that question.
Yes.
And I think that it removes some of the criticisms that will be attached to it and some of the, the preconceived notions or whatever. When you say speaking facts, it is also worth pointing out that Steve Simmons was the guy who reported the Monitor story from last week that we asked Steve Peters about. And I asked Steve Peters, I was like, Petey, you know this guy, you've worked with this guy, you've been in that building. Is this story true? Because it's insane. And Petey said that he didn't know that was true. He said there was something along the lines with, like, he had 32 monitors and something similar to that story. But what Steve had reported last week was not backed up and verified by Petey.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean that it's right or wrong. I think
sensationalizing.
No, but Petey gave more of like an I don't know if that's necessarily the case, but here's what I knew about it.
But we know Simmons sensationalizes.
That's my suspicion,
Yeah.
and it doesn't help. And that's where he's not aided here when you could just be... I feel like if you're just straight facts and know, like, that's it, that's all you got, because people are fucking pissed here. Like, I think that there's more of a way to toe the line and make it almost more shocking if you are just saying straight, here's what I've been told, how do you feel about this? They answer and you say, okay, well, I've also been told this, or like that's where you put more of the pressure on Pelly, who also looks absolutely horrible here, but what else is new?
He wanted Pelly to be upset. Like, he wanted Pelly to be defensive, I think. And also, like, it didn't seem like he had much interest in the answer. Like, he wanted to embarrass Pelly, which I like to a certain
Pelly
extent.
wasn't
I think
giving
is
much
fair.
of an answer, to be fair. He's just like, we talk to different people.
And there's an argument that man does not embarrass.
Yeah, and I think, like,
you could be talking about either one there, honestly.
He should be embarrassed. Like, I think to a certain extent he should be embarrassed because this has been embarrassing for MLSE. But
yeah, but like I'm saying, like when we watch him, we're like that guy clearly doesn't embarrass. Because I would be
no, for sure.
I'd be having some tough moments screaming in the shower later on. I mean, after a certain press
he wouldn't have hired
conferences.
John Chayka. He wouldn't hire John Chayka if he was worried about getting embarrassed. Like to a certain extent, I guess I respect. Like, he's sticking to his guns. He knows how bad this looks optically, and I have to imagine, maybe this is putting too much faith in an MLSE suit, but like I have to imagine he knew this wasn't going to be unanimously beloved. Maybe he didn't know it was going to be this hated, but he had to have known people were going to have problems with this hire, and he did it anyways. So
I will say,
unlike Pete, sticks to his guns.
Steve Simmons may have done the Maple Leafs a huge favor with this question and this whole interaction, because we're not really talking about any of the things that Pelly said or that Sundin said or Chayka said, really. We're talking about how fucking awkward this interaction was and how absurd it was. And I don't really know much of what happened outside of it, in terms of this press conference. And I imagine that, like, Pelly probably said some shit that, like, could have been dissected and been like, this guy doesn't really know what he's doing. This is unserious. This is all just a big fucking circus, and Simmons is feeding into it. Pelly's feeding into it. The Leafs are a joke, man. Like, they are a joke right now. And maybe this ends up looking like, wow, we really overblew this and we killed this guy before he had a chance to do anything on the job. But right now, this is the most unserious team in hockey, is it not?
I'm joking.
Yeah, and they have to play hockey still. Like, all of this has happened since the last time and obviously, like, the way this season went is why we're here. But like Chayka still has to put together a hockey team. He's still got to sign people and trade people and like figure out what the team that is on the ice is actually going to look like, which I think is hilarious. I'm just happy it's happening to Toronto.
And he can look. I don't know the guy personally, so I don't really have any biases towards him. Not to go like Dave Chappelle on SNL after Trump got elected, but like I will see John Chayka. I'll hear him out as he makes his moves or whatever. And if he makes moves, I'll say, well, damn, that was a better move than I thought he made. And if he stinks, then I'm going to say he stinks. He's absolutely getting piled on right now. And to your point, Sean, I think the Leafs would be especially Leafs and arrogant if they didn't know that this was going to get crushed.
Yeah, but I mean, everything MLSE does gets crushed. Like, everything Pelly does gets crushed, and he doesn't ever really just seem to see it coming. So maybe they really didn't.
But this isn't getting crushed because people don't like Keith Pelly. This is getting crushed because this is an extremely unusual hire.
Yes, but I also think that it is fueled by people believing that Pelly has no idea what he's doing.
Yeah.
And that was already part of the story as they headed into this search, based off of the report that came out with him showing up to trade deadline day with the chat GPT shit or whatever it was. Like, we talked about it on the show. Pelly is emerging as like a supervillain in the NHL because he's this meddling owner who doesn't really have any fucking clue or merit as to sticking his hand in the hockey jar.
Yeah, I think it just big time reaffirmed what Leafs fans were afraid of and what non-Leafs fans at least thought, which was that this shit's a joke. And like, of course they're going to go hire. I think I said this the other day. Like, of course they're going to end up hiring the guy who's been out of the league for a decade, got fired in like shame. Like, they couldn't just hire the normal guy.
Did we make the comparison to the Boston Red Sox hiring Bobby Valentine?
I think so, yeah. But at least Bobby Valentine was like an accomplished manager. He was just fucking washed and kind of a silly goose. I don't think anybody expected Bobby Valentine to work, but he had a resume. Chayka has like a minimal resume and a lot of
it's
stink.
All bad.
And I think that like this is a perfect marriage of absolute bullshit meeting in the middle, because Chayka's like reputation, and like I don't know the guy, and obviously in Arizona it was a mess, but Chayka's reputation is that he's a salesman and he can sell you bullshit like the best of them. And his post executive career in hockey, him going into Wendy's and being a really successful Wendy's franchisee, shows that he's a businessman and he's a salesman and he can do all of that. And here's Keith Pelly, who doesn't know hockey and really is just flying by the seat of his pants, being sold on things by fucking AI chatbots and what's a good idea. He meets John Chayka, and Chayka obviously sells him on this fucking bullshit or whatever he brought to the table, and Pelly's eating it up.
If Chayka is the snake oil salesman that he's been purported to be, and if Pelly is the stooge that respectfully he appears to be, that's got to be like shooting fish in a fucking barrel for Chayka. Like, what an easy mark.
You're right.
A perfect storm. And
especially if you're an analytical general manager, like a numbers guy, stathletes and everything that Chayka has.
Yeah.
Obviously, Pelly likes data and he likes the information and he likes the new technology.
Yeah. And on that, by the way, like a part of this where I'm like, hey, if he does a good job, we have to say he does a good job. And if he makes a good move, we have to say nice move. We don't have to spend all day saying that he's the greatest in the world. But like, I do feel bad that every time I'm sharing something that's kind of laughing at John Chayka, I'm like, his sister's seeing this.
Yeah, so I feel so bad for Megan Chayka.
I feel terrible for her because
I feel so bad.
And she is like, if John Chayka is just what we know of Megan Chayka, then like yeah, this guy should be getting some sort of job because he like knows hockey really well, can break it down in a very analytical way and like see past so many things, but make it understandable. Like I'm sure that Megan Chayka would walk into an interview for one of these jobs and impress whatever owner because of how she sees and can explain the game. But
she's also been continuing to work in hockey and doing good work over the past however many years, and has sort of like escaped the shadow of John Chayka. And
I would say
there were
that
so many people that were like, is John Chayka related to Megan Chayka? And not knowing that they had that tie. And I've already seen it. I've already seen Megan's mentions on social media and people saying shit to her, being like, just being nasty and kind of diminishing her own work in regards to hockey, which is such a fucking bummer.
And I'm sure this is the first time Megan Chayka has ever had to deal with people saying stupid shit to her online. I kid. So I feel bad, and maybe that should tell us that we shouldn't be so mean and horrible to like act like the next time there's someone who we think is a stooge or a snake oil salesman or whatever, like act like their sister follows you on Twitter before you're going to get all these jokes off. But yeah, I feel bad for her and all this because not only has she kind of stepped out of whatever shadow there may have been, she's like held in way higher esteem than I ever remember John Chayka being held in. Part of that, I think, is because she hasn't been an NHL general manager before. So no one's like, you're being trusted with this huge thing. But even when he was GM of the Coyotes, Sean, I feel like everyone was like, we sure about this guy?
But she's also continued to work in hockey.
Yeah.
So she has a larger body of work where, to your point, she wasn't a general manager. So there's not like you fucking flush this team down the toilet and you have all these mistakes on record that people can attach your name to. But she's just like, she hasn't left the game. And I think that's also a big part of the reason why, like, put some respect on her name for sure.
Okay. Draft lottery. Do you have something?
I was going to say, I just wonder how much the general dysfunction of the Arizona Coyotes outside of Chayka has protected Chayka. Like, I wonder if especially for a salesman like him, if he's able to sell somebody like Pelly on the idea that it's like everything that you saw went wrong. Like, look at what it looked like after I left. That franchise was a mess too. So don't hold that too far against me. I'm certainly like, I think I've made it pretty clear over conversations that we've had before that, like, when you sign up for this shit, you sign up for this shit. So, like, if you're gonna dunk on Chayka for being a joke, I think that's deserved. He's earned that based on what he's done, and I don't really care if he has siblings on Twitter that might see it. I think if you're making fun or being an asshole to Megan because of stuff that John did, you're a piece of shit, obviously. But I don't think simply by him having a family should protect him from criticism.
Yeah, I
agree with that
100%.
I guess what I meant is there's been a lot of fun had at Chayka's expense, John Chayka's expense, which again, like,
I'm a keep
punch up, like better to punch up than punch down. We definitely make fun of people in these leadership positions, even if he were a good GM, which he's not believed to be. But like, we make fun of the good GMs. We make fun of the good players. We say they're bad and don't try. We say that they're the GOAT derogatory. So that's a good point, Sean.
My last note on this is that I feel really bad for Matt Sundin. Because Matt Sundin is just fucking there too. He's just there too.
He's signing up for it.
A franchise legend. Yeah, but he's a franchise legend who should sign up for that opportunity. What's the problem is they said, hey, Matts, do you want this job? You say, yeah. Okay, we're going to pair you with this guy. And you go, oh, shit. And like, yeah, maybe he's also signing up for that actively. But as put by Woke Smeed on Twitter yesterday, I got a huge laugh of it. It's so funny that Keith Pelly is tucking Chayka inside the Matt Sundin piece of cheese like he's feeding a dog medicine. It was going to pacify the media criticism. Like, I feel bad that Matt Sundin is kind of being used as a shield here.
I mean, like I brought up yesterday, I don't think it's working very well because there's plenty of dogs that can sniff that medication out and just spit that out and still eat the cheese. And also, like, I do wonder if Sundin looks at Chayka and look at Pelly and like, these fucking guys have no idea what they're doing. This is going to go poorly very quickly, and I'm next man up. Like, it's very easy if Chayka gets eaten alive by Toronto or MLSE, I'm a general manager of the team I became a legend. Or
I mean, Petey said last week that if Keith Pelly's hiring John Chayka,
everybody steps up.
That he's got to watch his back because he thinks that Chayka is going to go for that job, the president of MLSE. Maybe Sundin has the same thought, where it's like, if Pelly is seen as a massive fuck up and is ousted from this role, who's to say that like Matt Sundin can't be that guy getting kicked upstairs?
Well, it is a big night for the Toronto Maple Leafs because the draft lottery will be held at 7 p.m. Eastern in the United States and Canada. We will be streaming for it. So check in with us. We'll go up before 7, probably not long before it, but we will be with you throughout as the draft lottery takes place. What is the draft lottery? The draft lottery is the process by which the NHL draft order is determined. The back end, like the teams that are in the playoffs right now, that gets determined based on how they finish and everything. But the teams that are in the lottery, the teams that miss the playoffs, that order will be determined tonight by balls being drawn, by not someone, ping pong balls will be drawn. And the worst team, the Vancouver Canucks, has the highest chances of winning the lottery. If they win the lottery, they get the number 1 overall pick. If teams outside of, I want to say, you can move up as many as 10 picks if you win the lottery. They draw 2 winners. So the first one gets the first overall pick, I believe, and then the other one gets either the second or whatever is within 10 of where they're picking. Last year, the New York Islanders jumped way up to the first overall pick to get Matthew Schaefer. The Utah Mammoth, or Utah Hockey Club at the time, had just barely missed the playoffs, and they won the lottery, so they got to pick 4th overall. And that's that. Do you have any sort of explainer you want to throw onto there?
I'm not really qualified to explain it. It's very complicated, or some people would say that it's very complicated, but Matthew Schaefer can explain it to
nice.
Hey there. I can't believe it's been a year since the Islanders won the NHL Draft Lottery and picked me number 1. Fans keep telling me this lottery system is so complicated, but actually, it's very simple. Watch this. Hey girls, the NHL Draft Lottery is tomorrow night, and I wanted to give you a quick lesson so you can follow along live. Ready?
These are the Martin girls, by the way.
Yes.
Matt Martin's daughters.
Here's
Brady
how it
Martin's
works.
sisters.
14 ping pong balls will be loaded into a lottery machine. 4 are drawn, 1 at a time, resulting in a 4-digit combination.
That's what sounds a little like combination.
Exactly. Before the lottery, combinations are assigned to the teams that didn't make the playoffs. The worse the record, the more combos a team gets, giving them a better shot at number 1.
The Canucks have the best shot at number 1.
Yep, and since a team can only move up 10 spots...
They have a 25.5% chance.
Correct. The best part is that as each ball is chosen, the odds change in real time. Some go up, some go down, until finally the last ball is chosen.
That's who gets number 1.
Yes!
Lottery's for success.
Love you guys.
Bye, Shay.
See? It's simple. Good luck, everyone.
Everybody
It's
get
hosted
it now?
by those 3, by the way.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
That's the best draft explainer I've ever seen.
It's way better than last year's. Do you remember last year's?
The
They had
weird
that,
animation thing they did.
They had that like psychotic animation.
It was like Clippy.
That did not help whatsoever.
Now, the odds for the first overall pick. The Canucks have the best chance at 25%. The Blackhawks next at 13.5%. The Rangers at 11.5%. The Flames at 9.5%. Leafs at 8.5%. And this is interesting because the Leafs have the 5th best odds, and their pick is traded to the Bruins if it falls outside of the top 5. So if a team behind the Maple Leafs jumps up into the top 5, and the Leafs don't win any sort of thing, they get squeezed out and the pick would go to the Bruins, which would be hilarious. The Kraken, 7.5%, Jets, 6.5%, Panthers at 6%. They are keeping their pick no matter what. It was going to go to the Blackhawks and the Seth Jones deal, but they're definitely going to fall within the top 10, so that protection does not matter. Sharks at 5%. Sharks also have the Oilers pick, but actually, no, it doesn't matter because they made the playoffs. And then, so in order, I'll just run through it really quickly. Canucks, Blackhawks, Rangers, Flames, Leafs, Kraken, Jets, Panthers, Sharks, Preds, Blues, Devils, Islanders, Blue Jackets, the Blues via the Red Wings. You just had to have Justin Falk, didn't you? And the Capitals. Those are the teams that missed the playoffs and will be in the lottery. It was really exciting doing it last year. It was a little confusing. Like when I explained it, I'm sure you were like, yeah, I kind of get it. When Matthew Schaefer and the kids explained it, you were probably like, yeah, I kind of get it.
Do you remember what you did during the stream last year to help explain the lottery? I watched it like somewhat recently, and I forgot that you had done this. You were like, I put together this handy little explainer on
with all the
how the combinations work, and you literally just posted all 1001 combinations on a full screen. It was just full of tiny text of all the combinations. It was fucking insane.
This is ringing a bell. That was like during the deadline stream. I wanted to have a list of available players, and it's just every player who hasn't been traded yet at the deadline, and it's basically the same thing. Yeah, it'll be fun. Like, we'll be watching to see, obviously, does Vancouver get the top pick and a crack at Gavin McKenna, who is the darling of this draft?
I only care about one thing.
Yeah.
I only care about one thing.
Dude, I've got my Bruins jersey back there. Yeah. I am the biggest Bruins fan today.
It's number one, it'd be fucking hilarious if this new regime in Toronto starts off by immediately losing their first round pick
to the Bruins.
Chayka knows a thing or two.
Yeah, and
Chayka knows a thing or two about losing picks.
That's true. That's very true. He's almost an expert in losing first round picks.
Yeah.
And number two, what a chip that would be for the Bruins to have right in front of them this summer.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure that you check out the What Chaos YouTube when we do that stream. We'll discuss teams that we want to see make jumps. It's a very, very fun time. I love doing these little things. Yes?
Somebody said the Red Wings are definitely getting the number one pick now that they don't have it, right? I can tell you, no. You have zero chance of getting the number one overall pick. You can win the lottery. You
can be fifth.
Fifth?
I think.
I'll take that.
Yeah, if you're the Blues?
No, I mean, anybody being fifth other than the Maple Leafs. Take that.
Oh, right. This is going to be exciting. It's going to be a blast. So make sure you check out the stream. We're going to be having lots of laughs.
That's 7 p.m. What time are we going to go live? Like 6:30?
6:30 is probably a little early, but maybe like a 6:45 or something, because they say it's at 7 and they don't get that
shit.
shit.
A bunch of bullshit.
I would honestly say like 7 is probably the move.
They're going to have, last year, didn't they just hold Celebrini or Schaefer hostage?
Yeah.
The year prior it was Celebrini. They just hold the top prospect hostage and be like, talk to us for a little bit.
I think maybe like a few minutes before 7. I think that if we started at 7, we'd be fine, but we can go up a few minutes before 7.
Gavin McKenna might not be there because he can't leave the state.
It's true.
Well, they held the NFL draft in Pennsylvania, so maybe they'll move this shit to Pennsylvania.
Sean, give me the slate for tonight.
Okay.
Ooh, a 2-gamer. We got the Victoire trying to even their series against the Frost. You just had to pick the Frost. You just had to. Game 2, 7 p.m. Eastern, United States and Canada. You can catch it on YouTube. And then the Colorado Avalanche will try to stop the Gus Bus in Colorado, take a 2-0 series lead in Game 2. It's at 8 p.m. That one will be on ESPN, which tells me that the draft lottery is going to conclude at 7:59.
Probably.
Possibly, actually, like 8:18.
Well, I don't know.
Might be a long one.
We'll see. We'll see what PK Subban's wearing and how they manage to milk like 45 minutes of quote-unquote entertainment.
Notice, folks, we never talk about PK Subban's outfits or show, hey, did you see what he was wearing? Did you see what it looked like? we have not even discussed it or talked about it. It is just, speaking for all of us, just understood. That is way too low-hanging.
That's what they want from us.
Oh, hope no one talks about this. Don't worry, we won't.
Yeah,
don't care.
Won't.
He can dress however he wants. It's really the forcing the bits based off of how he's dressing that bothers me.
I'm not even sure he's dressing the way he wants anymore.
I don't think
I feel like he shows up and they're like, put this on today, clown, and go make us laugh.
Definitely. Yes, like if there's one thing that I will give PK Subban credit for outside of being a really fun, electric hockey player, the man has really good fashion. And I think that he's sold the rights to that so that ESPN can force funny bits.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know what this executive. I don't know who this executive is, but I can absolutely envision them. Who's like, oh, like the Subban,
people are loving this.
That was fun. Let's do more of those. PK, get as wild as you want. Hey, it's hey, do your thing, buddy. All right.
Yeah.
Stinks. Love PK Subban. He's provided us a lot of entertainment on this show. Like the goggle thing.
That was
do
electric,
that.
yeah.
Keep doing that.
I forgot about that.
Also, now they're dragging Spencer Carberry into their bullshit. Like the guy who showed up and did an awesome job
just
breaking
clearly
down the
good
gate.
at it. They're like,
yeah, more dancing, please.
Yeah, let's dance. All right, so that is the slate. I want to talk about let's do the Wild and Colorado Avalanche, brought to you by Sports Interaction Sportsbook and Casino. Every game is your game, and you bet with Sports Interaction. Bet the action on every period, every shift, every shot with Canada's homegrown sportsbook. Sports Interaction, Ontario only, 18+. Please play responsibly. Famously, there were 15 goals the last time these two teams played. Vegas, or Toronto in this case, Ontario, not going. I think they're trying to bait you with the line. Guess what the line is in this game?
5.5.
No, it's 6.5.
Okay.
Which, like, they'd gone in the Ducks-Oilers last series. They were like, fuck it. We'll make the line 7.5, which is the craziest thing in the world. I thought they might do this in game 2 of this series, and everyone would say, oh, definitely not under. They're going 6.5 for the line.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking under.
Yeah.
New goalie, like,
I think
tightened up. Coaches, both coaches are mad. Minus, I think it's, let's see, under 6.5 is minus 115. I'm taking that.
I like that. Yeah, I think that both of those teams are going to look at the way game 1 was played and say, well, we can't do that in the entire series long, and really focus on keeping their structure in this game.
Yes, every game is your game when you bet with Sports Interaction. From puck drop to overtime, bet with live odds on every play with easy deposits and payouts. Go to sportsinteraction.com/whatchaos to open an account. Ontario only, 19+. Please play responsibly. Sean, hit me with some super chats.
Yes, sir. By the way, Sam Carrick is officially day-to-day. He will play in this series.
Love it. Rogue Wave says, first off, DJ, Sean, and Pete, you are the best. Do you think it makes any sense that Tor feels like a combo of Office Space and Enron, Doc, smartest man in the room? So weird. Who's Tor?
Toronto.
Oh, Toronto.
Yeah, I would say more Succession and Enron. Yeah?
Yeah. Yes, more Succession, yes. Renee says, Pete, how are you celebrating Cinco de Mayo? It's interesting they ask Pete that.
Pass.
Okay, I'm just seeing. Do you remember Trump with the Cinco de Mayo? And
yes,
he had like
the bowl.
He had like the
best
tortilla bowl.
The
thing.
best taco bowls are made in Trump Tower. I love my little Mexicans, or something like that.
Yeah,
that was an insane tweet.
Yo Yoka says, need DJ to know Freddie Tiffels just won the DEL Cup with Berlin. Oh, happy for him. Wish he would have done it with his home team, Cologne Sharks. # Berlin sucks.
Get ready to learn Leon Draisaitl.
Can I get the Can I get the Freddie Tiffels jersey with the cup patch on there? Many are asking. Gabby,
by the way, I'll have a Modelo to celebrate Cinco de Mayo today. That's how I'm celebrating.
Nice. Gabby says, F Carter Shart so hard. I would like to request him only to be referred to as such from here on out. The Rustache says, as a Pens fan, I can be grateful that it's not my boys getting slapped by Carolina and that it's the Flyers instead.
Well, I mean, you were you were kind of slapped by the team that's getting slapped,
Transitively,
don't
you get
feel
slapped.
like it means you look any better as a result.
Partisan says, shout out Ukraine beating France, now number 2 in Division 1A. Abby's Angel says, never suggest trading Clark ever again. What do you think is going to happen now? Try me.
Yeah.
Brand Clark for William Eklund.
Yes. Stacey Faye says, starting rumor that Auston Matthews misses Mitch Marner and is demanding a trade to the VGK. Leave LA out of this. I mean, if he somehow ends up with forever, it was like every time a player's available, it's going to be.
It would be so fucking funny if Matthews and Marner won a cup together in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
that part would be funny.
So
it would just,
funny.
It'd be pretty painful getting there, I think. I think the experience would not be very entertaining, but the crash out would be.
Snow Tonin says the refusal to answer the question about the org hierarchy was telling enough for me. I mean, everything in that press conference was telling. Dry Oily says the Oilers won McDavid at 11.5%. Watch the Rangers.
Oh, yeah. Trust me. I fucking know.
Yeah. I mean, if there's a team that needs it, might be New York. Like, obviously Vancouver needs it because they stink, but like if the NHL was going to rig it for a team, I feel like they'd rig it for the Rangers.
By the way, Celeste and Leon getting a new house built. You see this?
I did see that, yeah.
See who has allegedly designed it?
Lauren Kyle.
Yeah.
The designer of the McMansion that is cold as shit.
I hate that for my guys.
I mean, I think it truly speaks to the bond between Leon and Connor that they saw that house and they were like, yeah, I guess you can design it.
I mean, that's maybe a sign that, well, that could be a sign that Leon is leaving because he's building a house that he hates. So
it won't be here very long.
Or he's like, you know what? I'm going to be here forever. Like, I will, out of boredom, build bad houses. Pay for my friends to build me a bad house. Whatever. It keeps the community happy. Puckwatcher says, I'm confused. Wouldn't you prefer to not get the 2026 Toronto pick and instead get an unprotected for 2027 or 2028, Pete? No.
2027 is not going to go to the Bruins because they have a choice between the Bruins and Flyers, and they're probably not going to give it to Boston. And 2028, we may all be dead by then. Give me the pick right now.
Correct. Grace Derod says, I got into What Chaos through the heated rivalry reviews, and I've watched every ep since. Now I'm going to my first Avs playoff game tonight, and it'll be un film. Yes. Thank you, y'all, for making hockey for everyone and so fun. Have an absolute blast. You get to see the Gus Bus in your first game and Gabriel Landeskog. You're a fortune.
That's right.
Anything else for your chats?
Nope.
Okay, we got to get moving because we got some stuff that we've got to tape, but we'll be back with you at around 7 p.m. tonight. It will be a blast. Love you so much. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to What Chaos here on YouTube. You will get everything, daily episodes, player interviews, and so much more. It's all here on the What Chaos YouTube. Hit subscribe.